Welcome to All About Videography. My name is Dor Levy. In this video, we'll go in depth over the Godox ML30 and the kit K2. I'll put it to the test and compare it a little bit to the ML60, which I already reviewed, and a link will be in the description. I'll show you every little thing that is included in the kit, how to set it up, and the best way to use it. As well, I'll point out things I wish were different. Now, just a disclaimer, Godox sent me this kit for review without any conditions. This review is based on my pure thoughts. So the Godox ML30 is a daylight COB LED light with Godox proprietary mount, and it could be controlled via an app. It is the Godox ML60 little brother. Compared to the ML60, the ML30 looks the same and functions the same, but it has a smaller footprint and less output. Just a side note, Godox also makes the same light as a bicolor, the ML30Bi, but we are reviewing the ML30, which considered a daylight temperature. Specs, it is a COB LED type, which means one chip compared to LED bits. In general, COB LED chip is more efficient and has better light quality than LED bits. Temperature is 5600, CRI is 96, TLCI is 97, which are excellent measurements for both. I don't have a colorimeter to confirm it, but Godox for the most part is on point with their specs. The output is 37.6 watts. Godox claimed for 1740 lux on the ML30 from 2 meters away with the provider reflector. I measured 1820 lux, and compared to the ML60, 4075 lux. Brightness adjustment is 0% to 100%. Now, I don't think Godox meant 1% yield, 1% brightness of the light intensity, because it's not. My measurement showed that 1% on the ML30 display is actually 13.45% brightness of the light intensity. In other words, this light should start from 30% and up. But I think Godox engineered to show changes in the intensity of the increments from 1% to 100% and not necessarily the percent of the light output. Now, I can confirm that there are changes in the brightness with every click of the dial. Dimension is 120 millimeter length by 88 millimeter diameter. It is 28 millimeter shorter than the ML60. Weight is 587 grams. The ML60 is 770 grams, and you can tell the difference when you hold the ML30 right after you hold the ML60. Last on the specs, there are 4 effects with 3 presets per effect. Now let's talk about the build quality and the design of the Godox ML30. So build quality is top-notch, just like the ML60. I've had the ML60 for over a year. I use it in many gigs, locally and interstates with not a single problem. The light shell is solid metal. It does not bend or flex. The only thing that is plastic is the back ring with the control panel. Now the finish is beautiful on the ML30, very, very aesthetic. Again, just like the ML60. Now the reflector mount looks like a Bowen mount, but it's not. It is Godox proprietary mount, but it is robust just like a Bowen mount. If you have a Bowen mount softbox and accessories, you will not be able to use it with the ML60, the ML30, unless you use a converter that Godox offers. Godox also offers softbox and some accessories for this specific mount. I recommend getting the Godox proprietary mount softbox rather than the Bowen converter, because it is another thing you need to carry or need to remember to take with you. I already forgot once the Godox Bowen mount converter, and so I could not use the Bowen softbox that I had with me in this specific interview. But this is my opinion. If you already have a Bowen mount softbox that you really like, then get the converter. Now the light shell has honeycomb heat dissipation holes for ventilation, and as you can see, Godox did not skimp on this at all. On the shell, there is also a quick release latch that is flush with the light shell. The latch works great. It does not take any effort to release a reflector or a softbox. And as I said before, very static light, and that also includes the light stand mount. So the stand mount is not integrated into the light, and that works great when you store the light in the carrying case. But it is a stand mount ready. It has a thread mount with 2 grooves to fit into the stand mount adapter and the handle grip. We will talk about it more in a moment. Then we have the COB LED chip that is protected by a lens. There's also a ventilated cover that covers the COB chip heatsink. And again, I'll talk about the heat dissipation and the fan later on. On the back, we have the control panel. There are 2 dials, a set button and a dimmer, a power button, and a display. On the back, we also have the DC power plug that works both with the battery tray and the power supply itself. Now, there's nothing special with the power button. Click in, will turn on, click it again, will turn off. But I have to say the light is turning on right away. There's no delay whatsoever. Next is the set dial on the left. Just push in the dial to enter the menu. From top to bottom, we have Bluetooth connectivity. You can either turn off or on the Bluetooth connectivity. I don't see why would you like to turn off the Bluetooth. The only thing that comes to my mind is interfering with another light that works with Bluetooth as well. You can also reset the Bluetooth if you need to. You should do that if you have connectivity issues with the app. Next, we have the fan on and off. Now, what you need to know, if you turn off the fan, you can only reach 50% intensity of the light. Now, limiting to 50% is to make sure that the light does not get overheat, which will impact the COB LED longevity. The effects is last on the menu. 4 effects with 3 presets per effect. The presets let you change the effect speed or frequency. Just turn the dimmer dial clockwise to turn on the effects and go through the effects. The effects are lighting, flash, broken bulb, and TV. To go through the presets, push in the dimmer dial. You can also change the effect brightness by exiting the menu and using the dimmer. Next is the dimmer dial. Now, besides dimming the light at any intensity range, you can dim the light to 0 by pressing in the dimmer dial. If you press it again, it will restore the intensity. Now, on the display, you will only see the output percentage and the Bluetooth indicator if the Bluetooth is on. And that's pretty much it as far as the control panel or the back of the light. And before I forget, the ML30 also comes with the protective cover. The cover is almost flush with the COB lens, so it does not take from the overall size of the ML30. Okay, so as far as how hot to the touch the ML30 can get, it does not get hot at all. You can hold it literally against your face and you won't get burned. Even if you touch the COB lens for 2-3 seconds, you will not get burned at all. I tested myself, but don't do it at home, as they say. Now, suppose you want to know exactly how hot it gets. I measure 95 Fahrenheit with my heat gun. So one of the reasons it does not get hot is the heat dissipation holes on the light shell and the COB heatsink vents and the fan. And of course, it's only output 37 watts, but even 37 watts can get really, really hot if there's no good ventilation and heat dissipation on the light. And the ML30 is doing great with that. There is an excellent circulation of moving hot air out and sucking cool air into the light shell, which cools the COB heatsink. So now we can talk about the fan noise. And I say, what fan noise? Here I have 2 ML30 2 feet away from me. And leave a comment if you can hear anything. I cannot hear anything. But even if you heard a fan noise from 2 feet away, at this point your output should be less than 50% and you can turn off the fan. So again, fan noise is not an issue, and to be honest, it hasn't been an issue since the SL60. So Godox did a great job with heat dissipation, and also the fan noise. Now, the real difference between the ML60 and the ML30 is that Godox markets the ML30 as a run and gun light much more they did with the ML60. Also, the accessories Godox provided in these specific kits are designed to work in this environment. So in this part of the review, we'll go in depth component by component that is included in the kit. I will explain how to set it up and how you could use it for the best. So let's start with the case. The case is a hard padded case, but not a one-piece molded case. It is a soft case with a solid inserts to each part of the case, to the top, bottom, and side. It is a solid case, but not a pelican solid carrying case. There are 4 rubber risers at the bottom of the case and 2 risers for when the case is upright, so the carrying case will not directly touch a surface. Also, there are 4 rubber corner protectors. The handles are solid and reinforced with massive stitches from the case bottom to the top of the case. On the handles, there is a Velcro to lock the 2 handles together. There is also a place for a carrying belt. On the inner side of the lead, we have a net pouch with a zipper. The lead is held with 2 adjustable straps to the case shell. Inside the case, we have dividers that do a great job of separating the kit components. Inside the case, we have 2 ML30s. In the case, we also have 1 handle grip. The handle grip is to attach to the light for run and gun, but you can also mount the handle to a stand. Connecting the handle grip to the light is effortless thanks to the rubbery surface and the 2 anchors at the mount's base. The connection between the light and the handle grip is very firm. It does not twist or get loose. Now, the adjustable mount locking mechanism is superb. It has a ratchet handle style, which is fantastic if you cannot turn the handle a complete turn. It's not a rosette style locking mechanism, even though it feels like it. Again, it's not a rosette locking mechanism, but in my opinion, it is as strong as the rosette. Maybe it is Godox proprietary rosette style mechanism. I don't know, but it feels very, very strong. So to use the ML30 as a run and gun light, Godox included a battery tray that could be mounted to the handle grip with a short cable that connects to the light. Godox also included a long cable so you could either clip the battery tray to your pants or belt or even to a stand if you can strap it somehow. Now, if you clip the battery tray to your belt, it will make it a much lighter rig, especially if you use Sony big batteries. Now, the cables obviously have 2 plugs. The one that plugs into the battery tray has a locking thread, so you will need to push in the plug and turn clockwise until it locks. When it's locked, it will not come out until you unscrew it. The tray has only 1 plug and nothing else. There is a battery power indicator. Just click and hold the button to see the level. Clicking the battery level indicator will also release the batteries if you push them out. Now, if you have batteries with a USB charging port, the batteries will pop out every time you check the levels. Just a side note. There is a latch on top of the tray to unlock the tray from the handle grip. The clipper that clips to your pants or belt is on the back of the tray. Above the clip, we have 3 stud holes to mount the battery tray to the handle grip. To mount the tray to the handle grip, you will need to align the studs to the holes, push forward and downward. To release the tray, use the quick release latch at the top of the battery holder. Just move it forward and push the battery holder upward to release it from the grip. Last on the tray is the stand that slides out from the tray. It is to balance the handle grip when it is on the floor. Great to use when you are on standby or to rest your arm. To use the light with batteries, you will need 2 NPF Sony batteries, preferable mid-sized batteries if you plan to mount the battery tray to the handle grip. Otherwise, it will be too heavy to hold after a while. Now, you don't have to use the same size batteries, but the light will die when the smaller battery is drained. One thing to keep in mind if you decide to mount the light with the handle grip to a stand, you will have a tilt limitation if you have reflector or a softbox mount to the light. The batteries pretty much block the reflector from tilting all the way down. You can either use medium-sized batteries or put the battery tray on the floor with the provided long cable. Now, Godox included only 1 handle grip and 1 battery tray, which is a mistake in my opinion, and I will talk about it in a minute. Next, we have two small softbox models ML-SF3030. It comes inside a pouch with 4 rods, a rods hub, a grid, a diffuser, and an inner diffuser. It is 11 inches square and 10 inches deep. The initial setup took me close to 5 minutes. The hardest part was inserting the rods into the sleeves. The good thing is you can leave the rods installed in the softbox. It will fit in the pouch just like that, and it will reduce the setup time. There's actually an update to that. I was able to get the entire softbox with the diffusers, rods, and grid in one piece into the pouch. As far as purpose, I believe they were not meant for run and gun. I would say more for a control environment when you can mount the lights to a stand. With that said, there are two types of softbox that are meant for run and gun. Those two are collapsible softbox. All you need to do is pop it out and you are good to go. Now let me tell you why Godox made a mistake providing only one tray and one handle grip. They eliminate so many possibilities you could use the kit for. If you are a videographer that shoots events, especially weddings, I'm sure you saw two flash grippers that works with a photographer. One person positioned in one place and the other person is about maybe 90 degrees. Doesn't really matter where it's positioned. The idea is that they're using two flash to be more creative. My point is that you could be much more creative with two portable lights. You could use one light as a kick light and the other as a key light, or instead of the kick light you could use air light and many other combinations. If you're a wedding videographer, that could be great for you. If you're a filmmaker, that could also work for you. But you could still work it out with an aftermarket battery tray. If you find a battery tray that has a D-tap connection, Godox offers a cable that will work just for that. It is the ML-C1 connector cable. There is also a solution for a second handle grip. In the kit there are two stand mounts. You can use one of them to mount the light to a stand, boom arm, or a monopod. Now let's talk about the two rubbery softbox. There is the rectangular and the China bowl style. The China bowl produces softer light compared to the rectangular, and it is excellent to use as a key light. The rectangular is more suitable for a kick light in my opinion because it is more direct. On the other hand, you have to be very close to the subject with the China bowl. Now, you can also benefit from the rectangular softbox when it is fully closed. The light will be even more focused, which means more output. In this position, there is no light leaks from these sides. Now, the China bowl is 3 stages collapsible softbox. It is doing the same effect as the rectangular softbox. The light is more focused when the softbox is closed, but I don't think you should use the China bowl when it is full closed. The first reason, it is touching the LED lens, which might discolor the China bowl over time. The second reason, the light turns yellow, and if you are outdoors, yellow does not make any sense unless you want it to look like you are under a warm light bulb. Even though the softboxes are more for a control environment, at least in my opinion, it does not mean they cannot be used as a run and gun. The same goes for the collapsible softboxes. They can be used as well in a control environment. You can even mix between the two. Now, I tested the softness of the softboxes with pretty much all the combinations. The conventional softboxes had the inner diffuser, and a grid. For the entire shoot, the light intensity was the same. That way you can see which of the softboxes is less restricted. Camera specs, ISO was 500, shutter speed 50, and f4 was the aperture. The fill light was on 38% and the key light was on 19%. The fill light was to my left about 90 degrees. Both lights were about 4 feet away from me. Here we have the conventional softboxes. Rectangular as a fill light, China bowl as a key light. Over here, I moved the China bowl to about 1.5 feet from me. The key light is the softbox and the fill light is the collapsible china bowl. The key light is the softbox and the fill light is the collapsible rectangular softbox. The key light is the collapsible rectangular softbox and the fill light is the collapsible china bowl. As you can see, all the softboxes produce soft light. Next in the case, we have two stand adapters, which I already mentioned. They attach to the light the same way the handle grip does. It is solid metal and it has the exact lock mechanism as the handle grip. It does not have the ratchet handle to lock the light position, but the lock knob is plenty tight. You can attach the adapter to the stand in both ways, upright or to the side. There's also a place to hold an umbrella at the top part of the stand holder. As you can see, there is no thumb screw to lock the umbrella. Instead, there is a spring plate inside the channel. So when you insert the umbrella rod into the channel, it creates pressure against the rod. And that prevents the umbrella rod from slipping out. Two more things. The knob that secures the adapter to the stand has a thread on both sides of the stand adapter. If you cannot lock the adapter from one side for some reason, you can move the knob to the opposite side. The stand adapters also come with a stud. It has a 1/4 inch thread at the bottom and a 1/4 inch thread on the top. So if you need to attach the light to a monopod, for example, you can. If it goes on a stand, just remove the stud. Next in the case, we have two reflectors. The reflector has a diamond shape that intensifies the light to output more power. The problem with that, it creates a hotspot in the center. The reflector build quality is good. It might bend if it falls on the floor, but on the other hand, you don't want a reflector from a solid metal that turns the rig heavy. So don't drop it. We have two power supplies and two power supply stands holders that goes hand in hand. The power supply is much smaller than the ML30 power supply. There is a green light indicator when it is plugged. So the power supply holders are pretty much standard with all Godox products. One side goes on the stand with a Velcro strap. And the other side secures the power supply inside of this basket, if you will. To release it, just push on the latch. The power supply holder fits excellent to the ML60 power supply, but it is too big for the ML30. So you will need to custom fit it to the ML30 by opening both vertical and horizontal straps and tightening the straps back to fit the ML30 power supply. Another thing is when you plug the long cable into the power supply almost slips out from the basket. If it does, just put the power supply upside down into the basket. I think that covers everything in the case. Last in this review is the app. The ML30 connects to the app via Bluetooth. So pairing the app to the light is a breeze. You will need to turn on your Bluetooth and location on your smartphone. With the app, you can turn on and off the lights, dim the lights, and control the effects. You can group multiple lights so they can sync together, but you cannot turn off and on the fan and obviously not the Bluetooth. The app has features that are not for the ML30, and if you try to use it, it will not do anything. Just like all the apps and remote controls I've tested in the past, it is one-way control, meaning adjustment from the light will not reflect on the app. So if you decide to use the app, stick to it for the entire shoot. And that's it. If you stayed to the end, thank you for watching. It is by far the longest video review I did, but I hope you find it informative and to the point. If you like this video, please click on the like button, leave a comment, which will help me a lot with this video. And also consider subscribing to this channel and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.